This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining. Welcome back to Barely a Podcast, guys. We have another special guest tonight, Mr. Jake Jensen. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he said yes.
Jake, what do you do?
So I'm a strength and conditioning coach with the Seattle Kraken, and then I pretend to hunt fish on the side, much as I can.
He's being.
You can never pretend.
Yeah.
If you're out there
I've seen
doing
your
it,
page. You're a killer.
And for those of you who you don't know, this was the mall in
Northgate Mall
was converted into a hockey
center
slash
mall.
mall.
It's like a
Oh, it was?
Frankenstein
I had
building
no
now.
idea.
Yeah, they cut a big hole in the middle of it so they could drive through it.
Okay.
Left a couple stores in the mall, and then turned the other part of the mall into like an ice arena.
So now,
Really?
now Washington has their own professional hockey team. So we had the Silvertips, which were semi-pro. How does that work?
They're a junior hockey team.
Are they WHL?
Yeah, I think they're
Is that right?
WHL or
Yeah.
OHL.
This is,
But
where
there are a lot of. I understand it a
It's
little bit.
It's a junior league.
They're definitely younger guys.
yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
We're there screaming at 18-year-olds all the time. I knew that.
Well, I mean, there's even 16-year-olds that play on that team
shit.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so the tips are it's a junior league team, and then kids who play there will go on to play professional hockey, whether it's in a league like the American League, which is like minor professional, or they'll go to Europe, or they'll do other leagues like that. Usually they won't go East Coast League because that typically is players who are like sundowning.
Okay.
Usually East Coast League doesn't develop into NHL, but yeah. So that's where the tips kind of fall. They're like right at the cusp of pro hockey.
And the Kraken or NHL absolute
Wait.
hammers.
So kids can play on the Silvertips?
Yeah.
Like young kids? Like 16,
There's-
17-year-old
yes.
kids?
Dude.
So here's a question. If you beat the crap out of a 16-year-old kid, do you get in trouble if you're like 25?
They don't take
Hey,
old guys, dude.
If it's,
kids
I don't
fighting
know
kids.
the rule in
Well,
hockey.
Jake, tell
but-
me.
Yeah, you can't play in those leagues if you're 25. I think the age limit. I think
Okay,
20 is the
but
age.
if you're 21 and the 16-year-old kid puts his dukes up and is ready to fight, and you beat the crap out of him, can you get in trouble?
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
I think hockey.
I just want to know.
James, I'm pretty sure hockey is the last real man sport
Okay,
to where
I just want to know if there's an
So
exemption.
fighting is literally part of the game.
In those leagues, it's a stiffer penalty for fighting.
Yes.
So like in the NHL, if you fight, it's 5 minutes.
Okay,
5-minute penalty.
Okay.
And then
I take that every time.
yeah,
dude,
I'd be getting in
I'd
fights
be
all
the
time.
goon, dude.
Yeah.
But in those
No, you
junior
wouldn't.
leagues,
You're
you
too
get
small to
extra
be the
penalties.
goon.
No, dude, I'll come in strong, throwing haymakers like you wouldn't believe.
He's a minigoon. He's a Conor
You know how many
McGregor
mini
of goons.
goons are in the NHL? A lot.
There's gonna be one here pretty soon. Sign me up. How much do you guys pay?
I can't keep him on track.
It's going
We're off
great.
to a great start.
Sorry.
Getting sidetracked already.
So James is beating up 16-year-old kids.
Yes, I just want secretly I want to beat up teenagers.
We were trying to ask him what he did, and then we just got off
All
on a
right,
tangent.
well, that's
so.
it. That's what happens sometimes.
This is literally what I do every day. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's a day in my life. We just
it's good.
have a good time.
Before we forget, gifts.
Yes, we're doing that.
Go
now.
ahead and Steven Ranellum.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to Stephen really. Here, I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Limited edition. You can't even buy these. All
Yeah, you
right.
can.
You can.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Did you put them on the store?
I don't know.
Okay, you can't buy them
You can't
unless
buy
you want one. Then
We're
DM
only
us.
going to give them. I just decided. I just made this executive decision. We're only giving them to podcast guests. Although
For the next 3 years.
Ron forgot.
I'm
his
sorry,
iSuit.
Ron.
He
I forgot his
garter
shirt.
But these things are sweet. So
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah, thanks for coming on.
Cool. Awesome. There's a cowboy on the back of it even.
Yeah, that cowboy's. He's a good-looking dude.
Hey, you fight 16-year-olds. But besides that, it's pretty good.
16-year-olds. Only in my dreams, Chris.
Washington resident.
That's what you get.
What do you do? Well, like, I understand. Like, so say for instance, when I was when a younger man, and we're playing sports. I think we all played sports when we were younger, right? Mm-hmm. You go into the gym. You have the old Jack guy with the big pot belly who's like, "All right, boys, we're doing bench press," and then that's what you would do. and then you come in. You look pretty fast. You don't have a big pot belly. What's going on here?
Yeah. So, I mean, the reality in pro sports is a little different.
Okay.
So you think of it as like once you go from junior leagues to the NHL, at that point, if you're an athlete, you are your own boss.
Okay.
Like you're kind of a contractor on that team. So your job is to like do hockey. So there are some obligations outside of the game, like you have to show up at meetings, etc. But outside of that, there's really no requirement to perform any duty. You just have to like do hockey good. And so the role of the strength coach in that landscape becomes like my job. It becomes to consult with the players one-on-one and try to be a resource to them.
Okay.
And help them to like navigate the landscape of the NHL without getting hurt. So that's kind of like your premium currency.
That's got to be like the main key in the NHL.
Yeah, don't get hurt.
Those
Play
guys
hockey.
are getting hurt all the time. And you can tell that some guys, they just aren't playing as hard.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it because they're trying not to get hurt. But at the same time, it's a tough sport.
Definitely one of the most physical sports.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contact, right?
100%,
High
yeah.
speed.
So fun game.
Fun game.
Fun game.
Doug plays for the Kraken. First day on the job, he comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, I'm a giant man and I smash faces. What am I supposed to do?" And you're like, "Doug, you should
You should go sit down.
like what advice would you give him?"
If Dougie walked through the door, what would we do? That would be a great day in our gym.
Oh, boy.
That would be a great day in our gym.
Yeah.
If a guy like that walked through the door, I'd be like,
Here we go.
All right. Okay.
fresh meat.
Yes.
Fresh meat is here. I mean, like, there is a process when a guy walks through the door of, like, you'll see a guy and be like, okay, here we go.
And you evaluate and you say, "Hey,
The thing that's nuts about hockey is a guy walks through the door and you would snap judge, like, as a strength coach. You have to. You can't help it.
Right.
Guy comes in because, like, the trade deadline just ended. And if you trade for a guy, like, you're basically vaporized. If you're a hockey player and you get traded, like, you're gone that day. Like, you could be told that you're traded at, like, 10 a.m. at practice, like, before practice starts. You could be in the gym working out. The GM comes down and is like, you're traded.
Really?
Like, get the hell out of here. And it's like, you're not even going to go do any more weightlifting. You're going to go to your locker, pack your shit, and leave. And you're going to your new team today.
oh my god.
And so if
I
a
didn't
new guy
realize
comes in the
that.
door,
That's a little aggressive.
it's wild.
That's
a little
just,
aggressive.
That
that's
doesn't
just
seem fair. What
professional-
about his rights? No.
Yeah.
No.
So a guy walks through the
Yeah,
door.
imagine if you have like a place you got to go pack up
Or
to.
like a family?
Yeah.
Or like, hey, babe, bad news. We got to
Well,
move.
obviously the family isn't going to move right away
Well,
because I mean, basically
Yeah.
you're just going to get and go.
Yeah, just you get in a new family when you go.
so,
to that place.
so technically speaking, you could
just
be
buy a new family.
you could be playing for a team one day and then playing for a different team the next,
The next day.
Happens every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Happens all the time in
Wow.
professional sports all over the place.
Every league, yeah. But long story short, like, guy comes through the door,
Right.
you'd be like, this guy looks awful. Look at this body. Look at this milk body. And then we'll do assessments like a jump test. It's happened before with our team. I won't name names, but guy come through the door and be like, here we go, man. Let's go jump. The guy will jump. It'll be like best jump we've ever had.
Like, what do you mean jump test? Like vertical?
So we use technologies like force plates
Okay.
that measure all kinds of data, but it's how high you jump. And you'll see a guy and you're like, this is gonna be all time bad. And then he'll jump out of the gym.
Really?
You can't call it.
And when you say force plates, that's like basically it's a plate that you stand on and you jump and it basically calculates the time
Right.
that you
Correct.
come up and down. Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like Doug would be the guy that would
I know-
shock everybody.
Honestly,
I've seen him
just
throw.
surprisingly, I know about all the stuff that this guy is talking about, so
Yeah.
I can relate.
I don't.
You would walk in and you'd be like, oh, he's not going to jump out of the room. And then Doug would jump out of the room and then throw 100 miles an hour.
I was the one guy.
Shocked.
I was the one guy that was like the white man can't jump.
You
I was
couldn't
that guy.
jump?
No.
Oh, jeez.
But
Oh, never mind.
Could you throw?
Yeah, I
That's
could
the key.
throw.
He could throw rockets.
That's all you need.
I
When
can jump.
when I played, I was
can't throw
able
that
to
great.
throw from the foul line out of any stadium.
Jeez Louise.
Doug's got a rocket for an arm.
Canon.
Like
Yeah.
I went to college. To
I have an
stuff,
actual newspaper that says Canon on it, and they were talking about me.
and we went on a bear hunt and we're like throwing rocks.
Oh,
and,
gosh.
Yeah, Chris talks about this all the time.
This is like
Doug's like-
way
Doug was-
after my
Doug was
prime.
Like, this, you can hear it like like a racket, and it just goes off, and there's just a fucking vapor trail. And I couldn't see it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess
Just
I
keeps going faster.
I guess I won't. I guess I won't tell him about my high school records when I was throwing. That's cool. Okay, I'll just go sit down and have my.
Where'd Chris go?
Yeah. He's having a Shirley Temple in the corner.
He's going to have another drink.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the river drinking beer, watching you fools throw rocks.
I was waiting for my arm to fall off after that day.
It was
like-
impressive, though, Doug. It was impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess to kind of circle back, like the paradigm in pro sports is the job is the job. So score goals, win games, which like that's I think a lot of what I see in fitness around hunting is kind of like moving that direction. Like we talked about burpees.
Oh god.
Like what's the currency in hunting? The currency is killing shit. If you hunt good, you kill stuff. Like I get it. Like being jacked is what it is, but like that doesn't mean that you kill stuff.
Dude,
Like
absolutely not.
being wilderness like fit doesn't mean that you are successful at hunting.
I could probably.
I mean, it can relate in some ways because, a lot of the terrain, especially on the west side of the United States, it's very mountainous.
think about like the most jacked guy. If he doesn't have any knowledge, like it's 90%.
That's another
knowledge.
thing is
There's a
having
guy who
knowledge
could
in the
be
wilderness,
smoking
too.
a pack of cigarettes a day, be 75 years old, and still go kill way more shit than all these jack guys hiking miles around the
Why are you
mountain.
talking about our uncle?
Uncle Vern? Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
we talk about in strength and conditioning, we talk about first principles. So like basic principles that sort of undergird all of those things that make sport work. And one of them is that your ability to do tactical things, like in hockey, it's handling the puck or seeing the ice or scoring goals. And in hunting, it would be those things, like knowing where to be, like reading the wind, knowing what time of day things are happening and how they're happening, how an animal reacts during certain times of year to terrain, weather, your presence. But like as you get tired, those tactical skills that you have start to like experience entropy. The more tired you get, the less sharp you are. And it doesn't matter how good you are at hockey or hunting or whatever it is. This is a first principles thing. Your fitness is going to sort of allow you to access those skills. So lower fitness will slowly erode your ability to make those decisions. So people can relate to this, right? People who hunt and fish, like it's day 7, end of the day, you've been hiking your bag off, and then you get a little impatient, you rush that stock, deer's gone. And on day 1, you would have never done that. That's a fitness question.
Been there, done that. Or you don't even get up because you're tired as shit. And
Lots
you're
of
like,
times.
I'm sleeping in.
I've seen a lot of guys not want to get out of bed.
We know a guy. T. Sorry, I'm just JKT.
When it come down to it, it's really all a mental game. Like
There's physical does
this
play a
last
part, but
August when I went on that bear hunt, I hunted 10 days in a row and woke up every single morning.
yep.
Got my ass out
Before
there
me.
before everybody, and I didn't see a damn thing
That's a grind.
all week, grinding my ass off. It really is a mental game when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
You can have the physical ability, but if you don't have the ability to get your ass up out of bed and do it day after day,
I think there's a type of physicality too. Like before this all started, we were talking. Surprisingly, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, Jake was like basically my size but fit, and had like I was pretty strong when I was younger. Before I broke my back, like I was like pretty darn strong, right? And
I
think,
felt pretty strong, and then he listed off all of his
and then he tells me his list,
and I'm like, I'm a pussy.
when
I
you
didn't do none of that.
when you
I had to set my beer down when I heard how much he weighed.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So he's 200 pounds now. He was 255. He had and I know you you seem like a very
not
humble
not a
guy.
competition lift. So
See, this is what humble guys say, right?
just
Yeah.
But
gym
when you
lift.
have a squat that
Just
starts
a
with
gym
an 8 and a deadlift that starts with a 7 and a bench that starts with a 5, I don't care how big you are. I don't care if you're 600 pounds. Those are big lifts, right?
Yeah. No kidding.
So that's super impressive. But when you were that big, I could tell you for a fact, because we were just talking about my buddy Matt Russell, who's a giant power lifter, and it's hilarious because he has to wear, like, you know, the old style pants that have like the hammer loop in them, you know, because they have huge legs. His freaking legs are, I'm not kidding you, they're like some of the biggest. I bet you his thighs are twice the size of mine. He's only 6 foot,
plus
right?
size human.
He's giant, but he's jacked out of his mind, right? Huge shoulders. And I remember hiking with him, and he's like, he has to slow down, and he's like, and he's ripped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, trying to oxygenate my muscles, you know? And he is
Surviving.
because he has so much muscle.
That's a lot of weight to be moving around, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well-
mean, could you imagine, like,
Well, a fact is muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
but like, there's a fine point of like too much muscle, not enough muscle, right? So you can be too big and too muscular for the type of hunting that we do. Like,
I think
'cause
he's
we're
just a
doing,
pussy.
I'm not gonna tell him that.
I had a college coach, and that was literally what he preached: "Don't be a pussy." And I live that to this day.
Can't do it? Pussy.
Yeah, 100%.
I know he's going to listen to this. Matt, please don't hit me in the face. I just don't. This is my moneymaker. You know? Yeah.
This is my good side.
Yeah.
It was Doug.
It's okay.
It was
Dougie.
Doug.
I always get the shit blamed on me anyway. So, what's new?
But yeah, so I think that's a big thing. And then the other thing about pro athletes is it's a lifestyle for them, and hockey's a physical sport. We were just talking about this, so there is more to the fitness question than just outputs like strength and endurance. There's qualitative factors like mobility, flexibility, your ability to like recover from things you do that also apply to hunting and fishing. Like if you are
Don't
not
be a
mobile-
pussy.
a pussy. if you're not mobile, then those days of hunting will stack up on you
Yeah.
in a way that they don't have to. It doesn't have to be like that. Right?
Mhm.
Like, and it's not a sweat equity thing, it's a time equity thing.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe a know-how thing. Like a lot of people, when they think of mobility, they think of ballerinas or like Pilates,
Right.
but that's not actually what it means, right? Like mobility is a control question, and the Pilates thing is a flexibility question. So being flexible is not being mobile. They're not the same, right? So those are things that maybe the lay person don't know how to do, or maybe don't think of when they think of fitness. And like, I try not to throw a lot of shade at the CrossFit community because it's great. Like, people get in great shape doing CrossFit.
Talking to you, Dominic. Mallard CrossFit. We were just talking about him.
You know, we were talking about Westside Barbell before the podcast, and community changes everything. So
Yeah.
you're able to do way more in a community of folks who push you. And that's what CrossFit does. So it brings people together who have nothing in common, and they're able to get that motivation, community to build fitness. But the issue with CrossFit is that at some point, everybody who's done CrossFit
You're getting hurt.
experienced this. You make,
I Steve Ronell the shit out of that one right now.
Shut up.
you make
Go
it
ahead.
at some point you find that like maybe there's a part of it where you're like, I want something a little bit different here, or like maybe this thing isn't for me, or like I'm really tired of burpees. You know, I'm not doing any more burpees.
I hate burpees.
You know, like CrossFit's great for one type of person who can just hammer down and not think and not get hurt. Rare.
I don't think it's an athletic type of workout.
It can't be, right? Like, so barbell training for time, you can't do it at a high level.
No. I was
Like-
going to say, do any professional athletes actually do CrossFit?
No.
Exactly.
No. So like,
Not f***ing one.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
If,
Okay.
if they do,
Let's
they
get
come-
it. Let's
they come out
bash
of the woodwork.
CrossFit.
and like I said,
I don't want to steal the mic from you, but if an athlete does CrossFit, they're probably going to get hurt playing the game. Most
chance.
likely.
but like I say, no, not to
Actually,
throw shade.
100%.
That's a guarantee. Not to throw shade at CrossFit, because it's great. Like, it's better than doing nothing by a
Yeah.
long shot. And
Yeah.
there's people who do CrossFit who are jacked. So And it checks a lot of these first principle boxes. Like you train every day, you use weights, you get your heart rate up. Those things have to happen. So for those reasons, it's great. But like I say, there's other areas of fitness that maybe get like paved over by that steamroller that matter too, and that you could do without a coach at home if you knew how, and you could do them and make you better at whatever you do, whether it's backpacking, hunting, fishing, just hanging out with your kids. You know, you want to be a jack dad at the baseball game. Like those
100%.
That's me. That's it.
So I think
So, not to hijack your Kraken stuff, but you are. I want to talk about some of your past hunting overseas as well. But so you want to try and put something into like the hunting sphere as well, right? So tell me about that.
Yeah, so I think I'm obviously passionate about hunting and fishing outside of my professional work, and so first of all, like backpackers in the state are nuts. Can I just say that? Like
The Subaru guys?
yes,
The
They are
granola
nuts.
guys.
You should have came on the cowboy trail trip that we decided to go on.
Like some of the places I go since I've
Right?
lived here
Yeah.
to go hunt
100%.
and see people like granola crunchers, I'm like, what the hell are you doing in here?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's what
We-
happens every
yeah,
time I see
every
him
time
in the
we
deep
go,
shit.
every time we go in the deep shit, you still run into people and you're like, "What the hell are you doing in here?"
So little story about this. This is a random aside. So Fall Bear last year, it's the opener, August. I'm up at like the butt crack of dawn because it gets light at like 3 a.m. And I'm high up, like far away. So I think
Right.
deep. I thought I was deep and then went deeper. And I'm still hunting a meadow as the sun's coming up. And the blueberries, and I'm thinking, this is
I can
money.
see it. And it is open August 1st.
It's open.
Oh, I can smell that. Can you smell it right
I can
now?
smell it. Yeah, I can
The
smell
smell,
that
it's like,
morning dew
I can
with
see meadow.
like
Because it's going to
Yeah.
get hot.
Oh, yeah.
Sun's coming up.
And the berries are just
it's warm.
robust and ripe.
You're probably a little sweaty, but you're starting to cool off because you slowed down.
I don't know. I'm usually smelling myself.
I'm there with
Okay.
you.
So
Yeah.
we're,
Sitting
so we're in
there.
the moment, and I come over this rise, and no shit, there's 2 chicks taking a dump.
What?
That's not a lie. I'm not making this up. Imagine? Can you imagine? You were with me till that part.
Yeah.
But you're not with me anymore.
Are they? They're not anywhere near the trail, right?
I mean, there was no trail, dude.
They're probably on the trail.
So you're just walking through a meadow and you're just like, I see something up ahead.
Over rise, and there's 2 people squatted down in the bushes on the edge of the meadow.
Taking a shit.
And I was like, because I hunt with a. I
Please
hunt
tell me
bears
you
with a
started
338
making like
Win Mag.
weird noises to freak them out, right?
Well, it's not a light gun. It's not a heavy gun. But
Classic,
it's not a light gun.
classic round, by the way.
The
Classic
weirdest
great bear
noises
round.
ever to freak them out. You see them like take
There they
off,
are.
like,
And I'm with this
their
gun.
pants around their ankles. Ah!
But needless to say,
Sever
I
down.
So we ruined the moment.
I didn't
Sorry,
announce my
I'm
presence for sure. I just was like,
Yes.
holy shit. And I just walked away.
Best podcast ever.
Like, what am I going to say? You're like, how's it going, ladies?
Yeah. Hey,
know,
it's
like,
you
good
over there
morning.
taking a dump.
Hey, you guys!
Dude, they
So I just got out of there.
Yeah.
And I'm walking
Like,
away and
no,
I'm thinking,
no bears here.
where am I right
Yeah.
now?
What just happened?
Where am I? Like, I'm far away.
Yeah.
Was that in this state?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Not
had
surprised.
similar
Oh,
moments.
honestly.
I mean,
Which
I
is
could
probably my
tell
mistake, but-
some stories about being in the backcountry. Like,
Me and James
Me and
hiked
Hardsuck were up there,
in
too.
15 miles to this backcountry lake, and you literally cannot get there unless you walk there. And we ran into probably at least a half a dozen people.
yeah,
There was a group.
there was a
that-
lady
there
sleeping
was
in a
gr-
hammock reading a book.
There was a group that was literally lost, and they literally had no day packs,
Nothing.
just like some water, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna hike out of here." I'm like, "Good luck."
Good
Oh
luck.
my
It was
goodness.
dark too, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah.
coming down on dark, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we got to get
And
back."
they didn't
I'm
know,
like,
and they didn't know which
"Do you
way
guys
to go.
have any flashlights?
No.
Or like,
Yeah, they didn't
a
have any flashlight-
tent, or like maybe some other clothes that aren't, shorts
Well, and not
a
even that.
t-shirt?
They didn't know. They didn't have any sort of like navigation.
They had nothing. They didn't
Hey,
have Onyx.
hey,
They didn't
Fellas, God will sort it out.
listen.
It's totally fine.
Coddle sort.
They have it
Jesus,
handled.
take the wheel.
Yes. So,
Hope is our plan.
something bad happened to those people. I don't know. I don't know if they ever made it back. I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
if they made it back.
And the funny
they
thing
probably
was,
had to camp
is
out
like
for the
where
night.
we were, there was literally warning signs about grizzly bears.
They just want to be petted.
Wait, grizzly bears don't exist in
They just
North
wanna
Oh
get
yeah,
petted.
yeah, that's right, that's
We're
right.
not-
Oh
we're not
yeah, that's
importing
right.
them either.
Oh, there's not signs at the head trails, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, they don't exist.
Real quick, back to your fitness hunting. Do you have don't you have an Instagram page for that?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like getting going with the social side of it, but it's sportsman_SC
Okay.
is the Instagram outlet, where I'm just kind of like, I'm just putting out content that people can use right now. So the main reason for having the social outlet is that I put out exercises that people can use like at home. They don't need a coach. They don't need to pay someone. They just watch a video, do the drill. Because I think that there's a lot of folks in the hunting community now who are like in this vein. They're like, I could hike a little further. Like if I can get 5 miles, now I can do this next thing that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can have my own backcountry experience without a guide if I can just get the 5 miles in. And then they're like, I got to get fit, CrossFit. And then they get this, they have this letdown experience where they do
No.
it and they have a bad experience. And like, now I'm hurt, I'm less fit, I can't hunt now.
I blew my
Right.
shoulder out.
So the real currency of being able to hunt this way is not getting hurt. Like that's priority number one. That's your first.
You don't want to be hurt.
Yeah,
like,
where do I
6,
sign
7
up for
miles
this not
in.
getting hurt thing? I like this.
I don't know. You sound like you got a bigger problem. Like
I think
you got to kill a goat or something.
you're beyond the not getting hurt
Yeah,
type of
we're
deal.
Not, we're not fixing me. But if you don't want to get hurt and you haven't been hurt, I'll go to sportsman
_SC.
SC.
Yeah. And I am still like a professional strength coach, so I don't have like a large clientele of people that I train. I just wouldn't be able to do the training my way with a big group, with a lot of people. So I have some clients that I train, but I think it's just like the stuff is not that hard, right? Like you can do it on your own.
You can do it on your own. You literally have to just take the time to do it. And I'm one of those guys. Like I see your stuff.
Yeah.
A lot. I could literally benefit from just about everything that you do.
Jake's gonna
on
put you
your page.
together a nice little regimen, Doug.
Well, I mean, he's right. You know, flexibility is honestly more important
You
than
need a
just
little
about
Bilbo
anything.
Swaggins. Don't know what to do with your training? Click here.
Click on this link, folks.
Yeah. I love that guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
There are
what
some
you guys are
great
talking
ones.
about.
Him and yeah, there's some other great ones.
Yeah. He's so strong.
Yeah,
He's so strong.
beast. But yeah, so the idea with it is to just like give some people things they can hold on to that they can do on their own. Like you don't need special methods or anything like that. You just have to train. So the people correctly is important, but I think that
Yeah, form is definitely important.
that the issue with form comes when you try to do like high intensity things too frequently. So it's heavy weights, it's sprinting,
Yeah.
it's like long distance stuff. You know what I mean? The real investment that comes that drives the results on the fitness side for people who are like hunting, fishing folks is time investment. You just have to say to yourself, I'm going to take 30 minutes every day out of my schedule.
Right.
This is my 30 minutes. Like, I'm not going to watch YouTube. I'm not going to, like, you know, with all due respect, buy a new gun unless I go to Chris's place.
How dare you?
You don't.
You know, like,
you
I don't need a
have-
new tent.
Have you been to the shop?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I had to leave my wallet in my car.
Have you been to the
No,
quote
no.
unquote
You can't talk about.
Shut
that.
up, Doug.
the quote unquote special thing? No. Okay.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe. Yeah.
The inner circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
You
like,
guys special.
the thing right now is everybody wants to pitch a new product. Lighter tent, lighter stove, new boots, new pack. Great. It's all fine. But the best investment you can make is 30 minutes a day to get your heart rate up
In yourself.
and just do it. Like, it's a time thing. If we're being honest, that's the currency. Who's going to make 30 minutes a day? It's a lot easier to buy a new tent or buy a new pack and be like, this is going to fix it.
It doesn't, dude. I can't out buy my weight. So like my alarm goes off at 5:15. I come down here and get on that. I hate that treadmill. And I get on that treadmill every morning. I go right there, see my pre-workout and my aminos. I scoop that crap in. I have to drink 2 glasses of water. I get on that goddamn treadmill and I warm up and then I lift weights till 7:15 every morning. So I got 2 hours. But then I'm like, And then guys will come in the gun shop and be like, "Oh, well, you can buy this heavy gun for $2,000, or this light gun. It's only $5,000. It's half pounds. It's like half the weight. It's like 3 pounds less."
Yep.
And they're like, 3 pounds less? Yeah,
That's crazy. I gotta have that gun.
I gotta have that.
3 pounds is a ton.
But I do the same freaking thing. I have multiples of those guns because I'm like, I don't want to pack a heavy gun up the mountain. Yeah. But then again, I'm packing my fat 275-pound body up the mountain. You know,
how many rock slide reviews of guns and like whatever, like weight stuff, like backcountry? How many times do they list their body weight?
0.
Like, never.
Robbie?
Not once.
Never. You carry yourself up too, guys. You go up the hill also. So like if you're gonna shave, you're gonna be a weight weenie and like go that route, you're gonna shave like 8 pounds off your pack, lose 10 pounds, carry the heavier gun,
dude.
Yeah,
I need to lose.
I agree.
I need to lose 25 pounds by hunt season.
I need to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Steroids.
Steroids.
Speaking of, I have a question about this. I really do.
Oh,
I really do. You're younger, I'm assuming.
yeah, I'm 34.
Yeah, you're like that's a baby.
You're younger than all of
You're
us.
same age as me.
Well, no,
Perfect.
Doug's a little younger too.
So I'm 44,
A little
so I
younger.
could basically be your father
Piss
because
off,
I was
Jim.
humping couches at 10. So
The shit,
Whoa.
the shit that I do, I feel like I'm 80. So I mean, piss off.
velour couches in grade 4, that was me. I see a lot of guys on the
great.
TRT, right? Which is basically like you go and do your blood work and you say this
That's
is
legal steroids, folks.
It's legal steroids, right? So
HGH.
yeah, like what do you like? If laws didn't apply, right? What would you do if you were 44 and technically morbidly obese?
I swear, everything that is like given out these days, it's all about the testosterone booster.
So we'll do this quick. We'll do it like above board.
Yeah.
So
He can. Yeah.
what would I do?
Yeah,
The best thing you can do for your health when it comes to hormones is to go get your blood work done
where would you get that done?
with your doctor.
Just regular doctor.
It's an expensive test. It's $500 usually to have
It's an
these
investment in
tests
your
done.
health. No big deal.
But like the guys who do this for a living, like bodybuilders, spoiler alert, guys, Santa Claus isn't real. Bodybuilders take steroids.
I will slap your face if you talk about Santa Claus.
Bodybuilders take steroids.
I know bodybuilders take steroids, but you do know
Santa's
Santa
real.
Claus.
These guys do their labs like every 8 weeks.
Really?
Every 8 weeks, they know where their levels are
Really?
at all times, and they have coaches who look at their labs and tune their dose to those labs. They're not guessing, like they're not shooting in the dark.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so steroids, anabolic steroids are illegal, folks. You can go to jail. So I have to put that out there. But anybody who's trying to worry about your health from a hormonal standpoint, go get your labs done. Talk to your doctor. Say, I want a hormone panel, and I need to know what my testosterone levels are. We need to look at my thyroid. We need to look at things like my hematocrit, which is your red blood cell count, to know where your blood is in terms of how it's affecting your health. So how thick your blood is one of the main indicators for heart disease outside of like other factors like weight and stress and things like that.
My blood's real thick.
No, your
diesel
blood's
oil.
real thin because it flows with Woodford bourbon.
What are you talking about, Doug?
It's thin right now. This is water, guys.
Yeah, I'm
So yeah,
hydrating.
get your labs done first.
Lab's done.
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
And then you'll know from there what the best route to take is. Worst thing you could do for your health is to go on TRT, legal or illegal, when you have a blood pressure issue. Because those substances make your blood thicker. They increase your blood pressure for other reasons. And that will really speed you along the road to heart disease fast. And so you have to be very careful.
That's a good PSA.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
When you're talking about health, get your labs done. Start there.
Yeah.
But I will say this for TRT, people do need it. There's a reason doctors prescribe it.
Oh, dude, I need it bad right now.
There's nothing worse for men's health than low
Chris.
testosterone.
Pump the brakes, buddy.
I'm not joking. Like, I can feel it. Like,
Next time in August, you'll be like,
my workouts suck. Dude, my workouts suck. I can't put muscle on. I get fat. I got these bitch tits. I'm tired all the time.
It's a battle, man.
It is. 44 sucks, dude. I got readers in my pocket. You know, like
Classes.
yeah,
You and your wife share the readers.
100% we do.
All my buddies that I coach, powerlifters I coach, when they hit 30, I'm like, get your ass in the doctor's office now.
Really?
Like I got my labs done when I turned 30. I get them done every spring. I don't do a hormone panel every spring because mine are like in good shape. And at my age, I don't, and with my like training habits, I don't
Right.
need to do that panel often. If there's to be a change,
Well,
I'll do it more.
you're not taking shit either, right?
Yeah, like I don't do gear.
Yeah.
What are
I
you
was
a
gonna
cop, Doug?
What do you call it?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you were on said
If I was
stuff,
to do TRT,
your levels
Right.
are gonna be
I would do my
all
labs
over the
every 8
place.
So you like right now, as a very active young man who is obviously a very high level power lifter, like what are your levels at for testosterone right now?
I mean, so the thing to know about
personal
free T,
there, Chris. Jeez.
I don't think
we can cut
I don't
this
think
out.
anyone's gonna really understand what the hell that means, Chris.
people know,
Oh yeah, we're talking
Yeah,
about
people-
levels.
what's normal
Yeah.
is anywhere from 400 to 1,000.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
Jim.
And mine when I got my labs done 2 years ago was 850
That's
free,
pretty good.
but that's for me.
Yeah,
So another person could be 600 and be totally normal.
but you lift weights a lot, and you
I
have a
mean-
history of lifting weights, and you have a
But
high
what's
muscle
normal?
density.
Yeah, so we were just saying anywhere from like 400 to 1,000 could be considered normal. But I think so for sure. If a doctor sees 800 on a sheet, I'm gonna totally put my foot in my mouth here, folks. I'm not a doctor. I'm just like a gym bro. But like if you get over 800 on a test, you kick over 800, doctor's like, this guy's on drugs.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna see the sheet and be like, okay, message received. Like this guy's on gear. Usually, because let's face it, man, most guys are pretty low. Most guys who get that panel done are going to be very low. Get your labs done, and then your doctor, if you're low, your doctor will prescribe it.
Okay, so
And don't do anything but the injectables. That's my opinion as a gym bro.
as a gym,
I think don't do shit.
Don't be a pussy.
hey, don't be a pussy, Doug. Shoot in your butt.
Nuts for that.
So before we get too sidetracked,
We're already way sidetracked on this episode.
so before you moved here, you lived in the UK,
Berlin, Germany.
Berlin,
In
Germany,
the 4 years before we moved back to Washington State.
and you were there for
Same capacity. I was a strength coach for a pro hockey team there.
okay, and you tried to hunt there, correct?
I got outside a lot. I did go through the process of getting certified to hunt. The hunter safety laws are really strict.
No, I feel like none of our listeners
and
are
good
going to know anything
and good
about
for
this.
you for sticking with your home instinct of wanting to kill shit.
But
Because
Yeah.
like
we're all the same type of way. Like anywhere we would go, we would feel the same.
Hey, German
Try to
hunters
hunt.
are killers.
Like
Straight up.
we're gonna do whatever we gotta do to go out and kill some shit.
Get out.
Because
So walk us through, like, you show up, you're like, hey, I want to go hunting. Give me the full.
Yeah. So start to finish, I met with a guy who was from like the Midwest somewhere who lived there full time. He's like a German resident now. And I knew him through a mutual acquaintance, but he was part of the hunting group of Brandenburg. So Berlin is like a little like pin dot inside of Brandenburg, the state. It'd be like if Idaho was in the middle of Montana on all sides.
Okay.
Brandenburg is the outside state. So he was a hunter in the Hunting Association of Brandenburg State, which is the like federal arm of their hunting certification. So we met about this, and he's like, yeah, there's a process you have to go through and to do your certifications. And so he gave me the textbook, 1,200 pages. 1,200 pages.
wow.
Okay, I have a master's degree
Did you
and a
read
bunch of
it?
certs. This was next level stuff.
Did you read it?
I attempted to read it.
I was just gonna say
It's German.
My
It's in German.
kids, my
I read it. I
9-year-old
don't know what
daughter
you're talking about.
just passed hunter's ed here, and
It's 1,200 pages.
it wasn't no 1,200 pages. It was like 24 pages or something.
Let's just put it this way. I passed my hunter's ed when I was 9 years old.
Yep,
And how old is Alexia?
she's 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you're bilingual,
problem.
right?
Yeah.
I speak German fluently, but the thing about hunting German is it's different vocabulary, and it's a different grammar.
Yeah, because there's a lot of in there, right?
Yeah, a lot of those.
Okay.
But so you and the reason, and it makes sense why. So we're headed there now here.
Mm-hmm.
The public in Germany, they don't do well with like, this works fine. They do better with like rules, certifications, regulations, like everything laid out in red tape. And so the German public feels better about hunting. This is the same in the UK. They feel better about people killing shit if that guy is sponsored by the government. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. So to get your government stamp, you have to go through reading the theoretical material in the test or in the book. You have to take a written test through the sponsoring state. I didn't even get this far. So I went through reading the book, and there was no way. There was just no way that I was going to be able to learn the language good enough
to understand and take a test.
The test when I was going to take it was €1,000,
Which is how much in
at
dollars?
that time it was like
Probably $1,500.
$1,400
What?
to take the test, and you're guaranteed to pass. So if you take the test and fail, the Landesverband, this is the hunting group,
Yeah.
like the Jagdverband, will take you out of their,
Jagdverband.
I like how he just throws in it like, ooh,
Would you like another Jagdverband?
And you haven't had any.
All right,
he
sorry,
was full.
sorry.
Yeah.
He's sober as a bird.
So they'll get you over the line, and now you have your little hunter safety certificate. So now you're good to apply to the government of the state to get your permit to buy a gun safe. And then once you have your gun safe permit, which is like €800, you can take and buy a safe, which are not cheap. They're the same as they cost here. Has to be
hold on, back up. You're saying gun safe, not gun.
not a gun, a safe. You have to have a permit to buy one.
You have to have
To
a
buy a
permit to
safe?
buy a safe.
And it's registered to your address, and federal agents will come to your home unannounced to inspect it.
What in the actual French?
That's
It's
a fact.
Germany, man.
You can cut
This
that
is
out.
called the UK.
You have to have all of this. to
I'm
buy
pretty
it?
sure. I'm pretty sure this is the process. Like I didn't do it.
Oh, I trust you 110% because I've never been there. So keep going.
Well,
Sorry.
it's the UK.
Well,
They are the most anti-gun state of them all.
Also,
We're
ugh.
So you get the safe. You make an appointment with the state agency.
How much did you laugh when you were doing all of this?
Oh, they were stone cold serious, man.
I'm just
So I was
saying, it's just
reading
like
it, and I was like,
You're like,
I'm not doing this.
Because they're like,
Yeah.
you're an American, right?
Well, the guy's American, or was American,
Right.
So he had no interest in like being like racist at all. He was
Right.
like, this is just what I had to do, dude.
You got to do all this stuff, pay the monies.
wow.
So you get the safe. Someone from the government comes to your house, checks the safe, takes notes about where it is in your house, goes back, processes your permit to buy a gun. Once you've done your hunter safety and you have the safe and you've done the inspection, then you can buy a gun.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off again. So you have to, what if I just want to go to Sportsman's and buy a safe?
In
Period.
Germany,
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't.
it would depend. So
Because I have a shit ton of safes.
here's
Like
the
a
thing.
bunch everywhere.
you gotta go look at them.
This is the thing about Europe and Eastern Europe. So I
I
lived
was
in
gonna
Ukraine
say
also.
Europe is like
Fun fact. Like
Really?
I lived in Ukraine for 2 years.
You are so interesting.
So you know where all the money's going.
You cop.
what do you got?
So this is how it works in these countries where there's lots of rules. There's the way it's supposed to work, and then there's the people who are in the space.
Okay.
And if you're not in the space, you are going to get bent over.
Okay.
If you're
And
in
you're
the
not
space,
in the space, dude.
No,
No.
you kidding? I'm gonna make some
what is
American guy
what is in
before.
the space?
If you're in the space, things come your way.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
young.
So it's
and he's
kind of
new,
like
and
the
he's-
Illuminati of Germany.
Yeah.
It's the
it's
same
the
thing here.
Illuminati
Yeah.
of the
If
world.
you're
Yeah.
like a good old boy,
Dude, hey,
things
here's
come
the
your
deal.
way.
if
It's the
you're
same thing.
if you're American and go anywhere, you're getting the
Shaftaroon.
Yeah.
But like that's my understanding, because some of these people that I met, there's no way they have the fiscal means to do these things.
It sounds really expensive.
If you were to do it from start to finish, like me, like a Pogue foreigner, it would cost about, in dollars, it would cost about $10,000.
Sorry.
Just to get to the point where you can hunt, basically.
So now you're at the point where you have a gun, can hunt.
So we're at the safe, right? You got the safe. 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 You got the sa
Yeah, so then
Now you
you
can get a gun.
You get a permit to get a gun. You
So
go buy it.
What do you got to do to get the permit
You just go through the application process
and pay more money?
and pay the fee.
Okay.
And then you go buy your weapon. And once you have your weapon and it's stored at your house.
How do you get a gun there? Is there like you can't draw outdoors there?
No.
So you just go to the gun shop and you're like, hey, here's my permit.
Go to a gun store.
Yeah.
And you give them all your paperwork, which is like a stack this big. But you give them a big old stack of papers. And they're like, this all checks out. You can buy your gun. And Germans love their big caliber rifles.
Oh yeah, big bores.
They got
bore,
big animals
bore.
in
I mean,
Germany.
they'll shoot a roebuck with a 338 Win Mag.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Just
That's right up Chris's alley.
Yeah.
they love their big bores.
Give me a
Nobody's shooting
375.
6.5 there.
Yeah.
So
We make fun of 6.5s all the time.
So good.
yeah, so that's now you have your gun, and you have all your documentation,
And you're safe.
and you're safe to hunt in Germany. Now you're the new guy, American, who just got out of the hunting school. So you go to the hunting association to get your lease because there's
you
no
have to have a
public
lease?
land. There's no public land to hunt.
Sweet.
There's
Jesus.
no public
I'm gonna
land?
need a tweener here. Go get a water. God damn, this is a trek.
Yeah.
I am tired.
Yeah.
But
So
just
I don't
check
even
this out.
want to hunt anymore
So
in
you
Germany.
did all this stuff, right?
Yeah. You got a gun.
give
Now you go to
up.
the hunting association.
Yeah.
And you're like green jeans, like, let's go out and kill shit. And they're like, oh, hold on, new guy.
Whoa, guy.
Hold
Hold on,
on.
my
How
car's
many
dirty.
Birkensteins did you bring?
My car's dirty. I think there's a lot of
Do you
trash
even know
over
what
on the
word
lease
you're
by the
saying,
I don't
hey,
know.
hey, Hans, I think that road lease
making
needs a
up
new
words.
manager. Why don't we got a perfect lease for you, new guy. We got a perfect hunting property for you.
So they
manage.
you
nothing
so they're
on
just
it.
leases that a hunting association manages, and they kind of pick
once
and
you-
choose who gets the lease.
Once you have, as a hunter, once you're like good to hunt, now you can participate in the German hunting program, which is state-sponsored wildlife management.
Okay.
That's rabbits, that's magpies, that's raccoons,
Did you say magpies?
magpies.
Sweet.
They like to shoot the magpies.
So if any
I
wildlife,
would love to shoot magpies.
if any wildlife is causing
For
cars,
10 grand, Doug?
farmers,
I would shoot them for free.
well, that you don't get to do
Stay
that.
away
German.
from
Yeah,
my
yeah.
I
guys.
would do it. I would do it anyway.
10,000
I've lost a
more
lot of
magpies,
meat to
Doug.
magpies. Okay.
So
You're assigned to manage that piece of land. That property is yours to
Right.
manage.
So it's you have an individual
man.
lease. How big is it on average?
could be any size. I literally couldn't even say average.
And
Could
it
be
probably
any size.
do you have to pay
Okay.
more money for a bigger lease?
No, but it's a inherit by right thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So this like the sweet ass property that's in the
Mm-hmm.
backwoods that's got like massive red deer stags. I gotta show you a trail cam video of one I got. I don't know if it's legal to use trail cams there, but I sure as hell did that. I got some gnarly
I don't blame
footage of
ya.
red deer stags
Nice.
rutting. He has an antler sticking out of his neck.
Really?
He has like a 14-inch tine sticking out of his neck.
Wow.
Broken off. But so if you
Getting
want
down.
that property back in the like backwoods of Brandenburg where the big herd is running and it's like 3 crown, just like
Yeah.
monster,
Right.
you're not getting that lease. Like
Yeah.
some
Well,
old guy
yeah,
who's
of course.
had that lease for generations.
Yeah.
is gonna hand it
Right.
to
The
his kid.
old guy.
And you can't really blame them for that part of
course
it.
not.
Like,
Right.
I don't want some young American coming in here and taking our leases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a heritage.
Yeah.
But the point being that like you come into it on the outside, you're gonna get like the strip of highway with like 100 yards on each side that needs to be managed for like raccoons that get hit by cars. So that's gonna be your hunting lease. That's what you get to hunt.
Okay.
But in those countries, there's no seasons. There's no government oversight. Like there's some accountability for the like hunting community. Like the Jagdverband has to submit their harvest reports to the state. But the guy at the state is a paper pusher. He doesn't know anything about hunting. So he's just like, this looks good.
So you
guys
say like
do
I
your
killed
thing.
8 raccoons.
Yeah, if the Jagdverband is like, we culled, 2 red deer stags and like 50, hens or whatever. The guy's like, okay, cool. Did your job. Good work. That's it. But if you're the hunter on a lease on a roadway and somebody hits a deer, like they're going to call your ass and be like, come clean this thing up.
You're shitting me.
No, it's your property to manage, man. You're the game manager. You're the game warden for that property.
Oh, that's a pile of poo.
So it's a bit of a shit sandwich over there.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, that just makes you appreciate what we have going on here so
what we
much
have
more.
is incredibly special.
I was gonna, that was.
There's
gonna
nowhere
be
else in the world that is
that was
like
gonna
it.
be the next thing I was gonna say. Is like we got it pretty good here.
That's why we got to keep
incredibly
fighting
rare.
for it. We got to keep punching these.
We-
dirty
we're
old
headed that
commissioners
way,
in the mouth.
fellas.
Thank you, Sportsman's Alliance, and we're.
I mean,
gonna be,
as you're talking about like you have to get a permit for a safe, and you have to have all these papers aligned to get a gun, and then you have to go apply for all the hunting stuff. I can see us there in 50 years, within a 50-year time period, or even less than that now. Yeah, well, Civil War, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess we're here. Thanks. We'll be
so-
taking that ban now, YouTube.
To Jim's point, I think that's concerning, but for me, the more concerning thing is that the program that's going on right now in Washington, Colorado, these states it's not necessarily attacking gun ownership. It's attacking what public land is. So
Right.
public land is expensive. Okay. So you'll understand this.
Yeah.
The opportunity cost of keeping industry off of public land is a ridiculous expense. So leaving it alone costs money. So these granola crunching folks who supposedly just want to love animals, it's a shill by corporations who want that land. They don't want us to stay off of it. They don't want the animals on it. They want the expense of keeping it public to become the front and center item. Because right now, us being able to go hunt on it is front and center. So they erase the hunters, they shut the hunters up, and then they spin the narrative like, you guys realize how much money we're missing out on by having this be public?
Yeah.
We need to turn this into industry. That's what's coming.
I can
So-
see that.
I can totally see
People
that.
who want to like keep the animals and want to hike and camp and see, that's going away. The only reason you get to go hike and do your granola crunching thing is because of hunting in public land.
Yep.
I like how he's taking a different spin off of what we've been preaching for
Well,
I don't
no,
know
and-
how long.
I agree that
I mean, I agree 100% too. It's just it's
you start
different.
treading into some way murkier waters when you start really getting to the bottom line. And I've heard conversations happen about how they're trying to lock people out of public lands.
So
And the reasoning
We've
for that
seen it
is
firsthand.
dark. Like,
We've seen it firsthand, even though it's timber company owned property, and they're technically allowed public access.
yeah,
to
well,
it.
they have to keep their tax status.
yeah,
So
but they really don't want you in there.
No, they don't.
No,
They're-
that's why they lock you out with gates.
But what he's saying is like completely different. It's spinning it all the public land. It's all these special interest groups, the government, all working together to try to keep you out, so that they can take control of it and segregate it to industrialize it.
And it, at the risk of sounding like I'm wearing a tin hat, right? Look up Forterra. This is a Washington company. It's not a not-for-profit. It's a company. Their primary investors are Amazon, Microsoft, all of these large corporations, Apple. They own this company, Forterra. And they buy public land that's up for sale, just like like what backcountry hunters and anglers would do, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, where they facilitate the transfer of land for sale to state ownership. This company comes in and buys it. They own it, and they put a gate up. And it's not hunters they're keeping out; it's everyone that's not them. And they call it rewilding. They use these buzzwords, like they talk about restoring riparian zones. Which is a total crock of shit that doesn't mean anything. That's like, saying you're going to pay a personal trainer and then he says, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take your money.
Right.
And I'm going to keep doing it because you want to pay me. They don't have a target for what riparian even means. There's no restoration status they could even possibly achieve. They buy the land, they put a gate up, and they keep everyone out. So people who would hear the conversation who just want to observe wildlife, they don't want to hunt it, you don't get to do that anymore. Because you'll be
And where
trespassing.
is this?
They own property all over the place on the I-90 corridor.
I was gonna say, where have you seen this?
So my involvement.
I know you've lived here for 3 years, and
So my involvement in current events has been more on like just reading about it.
okay,
Lorna Smith has some very suspicious associates.
don't get us
She's
started.
a horrible human being, by the way.
Have you seen our
Do not
shirt?
like.
There's a shirt over there. Go
I
grab
said
it,
Lorna.
Chris. Yeah.
Love that
She
shirt.
just here's
Yeah.
the deal. We all know that like
That
she,
bitch.
The thing is, she doesn't hide it, right?
No.
We know that she's like okay, she's very.
She's
And
got-
it's
into
not
everything.
just her. She's just a puppet.
It's just watching
Right.
the
She doesn't
wildlife
know
first.
anything. She
No,
knows nothing.
no.
She just says what she's told. to
Baker
say.
Baker is apparently the puppet pull stringer.
But
person.
she's I feel that she is, you know, because she was a Washington wildlife first, and then she's like she's a Karen, she's a squeaky wheel, she's irritating, no one likes her. That's why people like her, right?
Yeah.
Well,
The
these
people
special
that-
interest groups are controlling her narrative.
But then we have Baker, right? So she's smart. She was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
She knows what she can say and what she can't say and what she can get away with. And then, like you're saying, like
Think about it this way. Like, what does Lorna Smith stand to gain from what she's been doing?
Nothing.
She stands to gain nothing other than a bigger bank account.
I guarantee it. It's going to be like,
Yep.
dude, she's going to be the Nancy Pelosi. All of a sudden, she's like, oh, by the way, I got a gajillion dollars in stocks. Weird.
The thing that's really maddening is it's not illegal. It's totally legal for her to do. She was appointed to the position. She is going through the, like the limited number of hoops she has to jump through to get her agenda moved through to being law.
Thanks, Chansley.
And the people that pay her to do this, like she doesn't have to get an official paycheck, guys. Like you can get all kinds of kickbacks. This is old school stuff.
Oh yeah.
You can
It
get
has
free
nothing to
trips,
do with the money she's getting
vacations,
paid for
like
being a commissioner.
Vacation properties like granted to
Oh,
you.
she wants to do it
Like
too.
these things can happen
100%.
incredibly simply and in a place where no one will see, and it's not illegal. It's totally legal. And like I'm telling you, these companies that are funding like Forterra and like brands, they stand to gain a ridiculous amount of money by owning public land. Like the thing that I think most hunting fishing folks don't recognize is that there is a monetary value assigned to land that's recreationally used, and it's not monetary value from recreation. It's monetary value from industry. So I'm from Utah originally. Every square inch of Utah would be industry land if it weren't for the public land structure we have. They would turn that whole state into oil mine, salt mine, done. No more deer, gone. Like Utah is just filled with natural resources, and it's crazy accessible because it's a desert.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing here is everything that is not owned by, the state or national is owned by a forest industry type company that is literally logging and clear cutting everything.
And so we kind of come full circle here that like it costs money to have it, but then to keep it nice to use, you have to pay rangers, like these pedestrian fees we know about. Like, and as much as these groups like Lorna's group would like to say that hunters don't pay for it, like hundreds of millions of dollars is what it is, folks. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
for
you
sure.
can talk fancy accounting all you want, but it is what it is. And if you've been deep enough, like the people who are helping keep like wild places wild, like these park rangers that go and just like live on the trail and maintain trails and pick up garbage, like those people aren't millionaires. They're not making a lot of money, but they do have to get paid.
Yeah.
And like they need equipment that costs money. Like where's that money supposed to come from?
Except for they're not doing the right thing that we want them to do.
Yeah, we would like it to be different.
They're just driving around scaring off wolves.
I think
There's a lot of things that are like a give and take, like with this whole thing that's going on, that you can like, this is good, this is bad, but I mean, in reality, with what's going on in the commission, it's not going good for the state.
Yeah, and they like a lot of the wild places, people for the most part would be happy to just like whack off 100,000 acres and call this a nature preserve.
right.
But there are hundreds of millions of acres that these companies have their eye on that they will take, and they'll just give like granola crunching folks, whatever. No offense, but it is what it is. They'll
That's
give
it.
them a crumb.
Right.
Like here's your little nature space.
Right.
Off.
Right.
We're gonna go take all of this land, this heritage that is America.
Yeah.
Let's face it, it is.
Yeah.
Nowhere else has this, and we're gonna make this our like heritage. We're gonna turn it into money. So, I think it's a little narrow. Like in my opinion, it's a narrow point of view to see that like they just hate hunting, because like Lorna Smith doesn't know anything.
No.
She is an associate.
It's all
My-
about
my-
money.
one
I
of my
mean,
buddies
let's
is-
be real. It's all about money.
Like, my buddy's gonna be not happy I'm saying this, but I'm just gonna throw it out there because I think people need to know. So Lorna Smith has an associate.
This is why we have a podcast.
And her name is Jennifer. I'm gonna mess up her name.
Throw her under the bus.
I'll have to look it up, but she runs a project farm, communist farm, on the I-90 corridor called Farmer Frog.
Farmer Frog.
Farmer Frog
Farmer
Farm.
Frog.
This is a Forterra property.
Okay.
This is the property where they did the study on black bears, which became the black bear policy, spring bear black bear policy. There's 2 research articles published by this gal. I can't remember her name for the
Apparently,
life of me.
we need to do a little bit better research because this
She's
guy
on
knows more than we
she's
do
on
about this
ResearchGate.
shit.
She's on ResearchGate. The article looks like my first grader's like term project. It could
Really?
easily be done in crayon. Like, this is not research, guys. This is like not even op-ed level writing. It's awful, and it passes for literature in these journals where they
Wow.
publish this. And the gist of the research is that if humans change their behavior, then predators like black bears are no longer like a threat to our lifestyle. They did it on a 40-acre property on the I-90 corridor.
Oh, 40 acres. Nice survey study site.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So not only is it bad science from a
On
standpoint of that,
I-90, I mean, when have you ever seen a black bear off of I-90?
On 40 acres, Doug, never.
and so
I'm just saying, be real. On I-90.
Doug, I'm usually
The
driving
whole
like
state.
700 miles an hour on I-90.
Exactly my point. Have you ever seen a bear on
No.
I-90?
I mean, it's not
Ever.
like there. It's like in that area. It's like Snoqualmie
Yeah.
area. But
I
like,
don't care if it's anywhere within 50 miles of I-90.
Yeah.
I've lived here for, I don't know how long.
I gotta show you some trail cam
A
videos.
long time.
Yeah.
I have never, ever seen a bear driving across I-90, period.
Yeah.
I saw one get rolled up underneath a truck on the I-90, like a little
I
60-pound
do
cub.
think it's
One?
getting pushed towards
Yeah,
that
that's the
direction.
only bear you've seen?
Yeah, well,
And I
no,
do
and
feel
I didn't see it.
like-
I just saw it dead.
Yeah.
I do feel like, especially with being in the
Very
real estate
rare. Let's just put it that
industry,
way.
You know.
Yeah. Like, there's people don't realize that
Big
there's
players.
There's people with money that would blow your mind, and they will,
Big players.
and they can do
Destroy
whatever they want.
everything.
You don't know
too.
who they are.
Yeah.
Like, they don't exist in this space. They're not
No.
public eye folks. Like
No.
I said. And they are out for it.
And they're not even
100%.
billionaires. They're like billionaires.
They have
And
fuck you money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And if they want something, like when you have that much money, you can do it. And I'm going to be completely honest. If I had billions of dollars, I would wreck the commission.
Yeah.
I would hire every
Oh,
attorney on
man.
the planet, and I
This is
would
gonna
wipe
be a
them
fun
out.
episode.
They would
Yeah.
be gone in a heartbeat, and I would be like, "Hey, guess what? Hunting's back to the good old days,
Suck
right?
it,
We're
bitches."
we're gonna manage populations like they should be."
Let's face it. That's what America's about. Like, winners win.
Yeah.
And
Mon-
if you
money's
got
power.
enough money to win the game, to like come in and win the game, then losers lose. Sucks
Yep.
to suck. Get lost.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and
That's how it
sportsmen are way behind the 8 ball here.
And I didn't win the.
Well,
frickin'
and the
Mega
funny
Millions.
thing is like there's a lot of sportsmen out there that got a lot of this, a lot of cash.
You guys gotta,
But they don't care.
Cash in, man. You gotta buy in, or it's
They
gonna be
don't
gone.
care.
It's true. You got to buy in, and you got to buy in now. Otherwise, it's
And
will be
buying
gone.
big too, like
yeah.
You have to buy in
for
big
all those
now.
multi-millionaire sportsmen who love to hunt all these states, and they put in for all these different
Yeah.
states and hunt around. Like
Buy in.
now's the time to put up your dukes and start
Yeah.
doing some damage, because we're
Go to
gonna
battle.
lose it if we don't change.
It won't be there anymore. You have the PCT.
It won't be hunting anymore. It will
Yeah.
be
Industry.
poaching.
Yeah.
closed gates. It won't be
Right.
like
Yeah.
logging. It won't be like logging where they have to pay to like keep the properties.
It'll be shut down.
You will not get in.
Someone will come in and they'll buy up Weyerhaeuser and they'll buy
And then
up this,
say
they'll
you
buy up,
want to be the guy that
long
just
fiber.
runs in and he's like, oh, screw them, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
anyway. Then they're gonna have whole groups that are just there to
Yeah.
ticket people and arrest people. And
I mean, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's like, we don't want to get there.
no, we
We
don't
just
want to
use
there.
our public land.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to have to, duck people who are all Chinese ownership. Like, we don't want to have to do that. We just want to use our public land the way it is now. And I think this is the thing that's getting missed with it all. And I'm part of the Conservation Coalition of Washington. I talk to those guys all the time, and they're great for, like, Chris has a quote, like, everybody needs ditch diggers, right? Mm-hmm. And these guys are digging ditches, and you got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Mm-hmm. It's hard work, and they're doing it. And, like, we talk about this a lot, that it's not as simple as the commission is making it out to look.
No,
it's not about riparian restoration. Okay. And the other thing that is sleepy going on untalked about is government grift. Washington State is piloting government grift, and the Division of Fish and Wildlife, what did they get from the government this session? Like $100 million or something, $200 million.
A ridiculous amount of money.
So for what? Like, they have a thing, right? They're like, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen is they got all this money. They're going to spend it all.
We all know what they're going to do.
They're going to hire people they know. Mm-hmm. To make assessments, and then the assessments are going to say, we need $500 million. The problem's huge. You guys don't know. We got to double down, or we're going to lose all these little beetles and little sparrows that are going to be gone forever. And the people who give them money are like, wow, they're right. These guys are experts. They need $500 million. Next thing you know, the facilities they're doing their studies in, it's a mansion. It's not a research facility.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is government grift. There's no accountability. Mm-hmm. And if you need an example, like a not tin hat example, look at Jay Inslee's commission for homelessness. Mm. The people who make these out, it's hundreds, it's millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands. For why?
Just for a study to study and find out where the problems lie, right?
It's government grift.
Yeah.
Jake, I could probably think you could probably be on every single episode. Just to
crazy,
touch
man.
base on all the horse shit that's going on in the
Jay
state.
Inslee and his homelessness is quite possibly the most
Biggest money scam that's
graphic
ever happened.
Oh my gosh.
overreach
It's
in the
so
history
bad.
of government.
I don't even know how you regulate whatever
over
the
$1 million
fuck it
per homeless person.
It's outrageous. It's a joke. It's outrageous.
Over $1 million per homeless person. How does that pencil out? Like,
It's outrageous.
It's. Anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked on that.
So this, like I say, this is why with the German thing, like, to bring it full circle, the reason that it's going this direction is it's easier for companies and people, millionaires, to make money if there's no public land, and they can manage wildlife in the European way and still make money.
Right.
Because their structure is in place and they get paid to use the land, and people still have wildlife to go look at, like Yellowstone or whatever.
Yeah.
You can go and get gored by a buffalo. Be my guest. Mm-hmm. With your camera in your hand, but you're not going to hunt them because we're doing industry out there. And I need my Putin level castle in the woods that no one can get to except for my whatever. So they can't do that unless it's their land. So the current laws and rules are in the way, and they're going to get it changed. Like, if we don't do something about it, that's where it's going.
Unfortunately, like, I hate to be like the real bad news here, but
don't do it.
we still have a chance to turn it over. Okay, let's just say that we'll
we
lay
have
it
a
on the
chance.
level
It's
of
not gone
optimism.
yet. We have precedent at our backs, which is king. So.
And the more that people get involved and the more people that push back, the more light that it's going to bring to this whole thing, and the more tread we're going to get.
It has to be done. I've had this conversation. We had this conversation this morning. We were on a Zoom, which is my least favorite thing to do. Should we talk about some of the stuff that we got on the table?
Yeah, we will later towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about like our first one? Do you want me to say anything about that now, or do you want to wait?
Not yet.
Okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait.
So I won't say who it was, but let's just say that I had mentioned that we are very, unfortunately, involved with the Game Commission. And I say
active.
Yeah, actively involved. And I say unfortunately because I'm not a confrontational person by nature. I don't enjoy it. And we have to, like, mentally, financially, damn near physically fight our own game commission because they're trying to steal everything from us.
It is theft.
And they are. Yeah, they're stealing currently. And it's really unfortunate that I have to do something that I don't enjoy doing James, I don't know if he enjoys it. Maybe he's a sicko and he likes to fight them. I don't know.
It's the last thing I want to do.
You know, so yeah, and we're busy and we have other important things to do, but we have to. If we don't do it, who else is going to do it, right?
Nobody.
So here we are fighting our own freaking game commission, and it's really
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
And we're spending our own money that we want to go and spend that money on doing stuff.
Yeah, like ice cream cones and cupcakes. And fun
Yeah, stuff for
hunts
your
and
kids and
vacations,
just everything
hunting
else.
and fishing.
All the
Retirement.
above, yeah.
Yeah.
college for the kids.
Anything else.
Yeah,
Just pissing it away.
yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
It's either piss it away going down swinging, or or piss it away in something else.
Yeah.
Well, reality is that like when the public sees through the fact that it's not hunting, if we can get like at this point, it's got to be something that everyone who loves the outdoors starts to realize and wake up to.
Well, I mean,
Then it will change immediately. It will change instantly. Like
Here's-
all these positions
Instantly.
can be voted
Yeah.
out of office.
Yeah.
Like think about this: if there's an elected official who has a constituency who says do this, they're going to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But hunters aren't a big enough constituency to do it. So
right.
But I do feel like we're in the age of things can change in an instant, like Bud Light. You know?
Hey, we're fighting it right now, and we're fighting the good fight, and we just continue to do the same thing over and over and over again.
But I do feel like you're right. Like all of a sudden things can change for the better, for the worse. You know, so
Hey,
It could go
quick.
this way.
You just
it could
gotta
go
blow
that
it.
way.
I mean, look at P Diddy. Things were going great
Oh,
for him
jeez.
up until the second they weren't,
See?
and all of a
Oh
sudden
boy.
something came to light, and his career is over.
look at P. Diddy.
So there you go.
Oh boy.
I haven't. I saw someone like broke into his house, like a bunch of cops and stuff. I haven't Googled it, but
I'll fill you in on the details after the podcast.
Okay.
all right.
So anyway, not to get sidetracked, Jim. We don't got a lot of time left, but bring us in on what we got going on in front of us here
Okay, so
before we run out of time.
I guess now is as good a time as any to announce that we just partnered with All In. And those of you who don't know, All In does phone scope adapt. Well, I'm not going to say phone scope.
Jesus,
phone
James.
adapters.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Whoops.
I know. 'Cause
It's easy to say.
Well,
It's
here's the
easy to
deal.
say.
Like I
'cause
use
it's
phone scope
a
before,
phone and a spotting scope.
which is
Yeah.
like that's another company, right? That was
Right.
like
the first company.
Yeah, it was
but
one of the
now-
first companies. Now
Not
there's
the
a
best
lot.
company, because now it's All In. And it's that simple. It goes on the spotter just like that. It lines magnetically. We're super excited to try these out and use these this season and take some video and stuff.
Throw your phone at it like Granda does.
I don't think I'm that
Like
good.
Grant.
No, but your
does.
phone's a piece of shit. If it breaks, it doesn't matter. It's an iPhone. No one cares. Yeah.
It's not quite that easy, folks, but it obviously sticks to the phone if
It
you put
is.
it up to it.
You put me on the spot. This is
put
what
you on the spot.
happens.
I will tell you this. James showed me when he put his phone on the spotting scope. So I
Shake it
do
around.
There it is, right there,
Yeah.
folks.
Shake the scope around a little bit.
I do have
beautiful.
I have a phone scope, right? Like so I have
Put
the
it
old kind that
sideways.
you push
Yeah.
on. And the thing is it was very you have to have it just right and you push it and you adjust it and you do this.
This thing aligns it perfectly
Instantly.
for your
Every time instantly.
specific phone.
I'm gonna make a reel for Instagram. I'm gonna film for a TV show.
But how cool is that it's either vertical or horizontal? Because it doesn't go in between. It won't go 45. It'll go.
Yeah.
You can't put it at a weird angle. It won't
Yeah.
align.
It's like 0 or 90.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Don't throw it, like Chris said, because apparently that doesn't work as easy as they do it on the TV. But
Adam Granda did it. And he looked awesome.
sorry, All In. This isn't a very good endorsement for you.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But
This is us.
super, super excited about it.
Yeah, it's a really cool product. We're excited to use it, and we can't wait until the season opens again because can't come any sooner.
Come Spring Bear, we're going to be using these.
Yeah, Spring
We're
Bear.
going to be using it for filming. Going to be using it for glassing. There's going to be a ton of stuff. So really
I'm
excited.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for Spring Bear. It's gonna be a good old time.
Lots of good stuff coming our way.
We're gonna hammer on the Spring Bears here in Washington. So stay tuned
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
We'll to fill you all in later on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Suck it, Lorna.
That's the old stick it to the man type of trick that
Yep.
we're doing.
Yep.
And we got a little taste of that last year. We're gonna really get a good one this year.
We're
hopefully.
hunting the reservation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The Native Americans in Washington are really pulling through for this because it is definitely important.
They're freaking awesome.
Yeah.
well, and actually, like, just they saved our ass on the game commission too
Yeah,
with
because
the
they're
conservation
fighting too,
policy
yeah.
or the preservation policy they were trying to push through.
Yeah.
They came through and like, no, and our state's like, crap, we're screwed.
There's a
Yeah.
bunch of tribes, and they got a big stick.
And I know that they really didn't want to say anything or do anything because they just don't care. But
I don't think they don't care.
They don't have to. I mean, they have
they
a lot
don't
more-
have to, but
They don't
it's,
have to.
It's coming
I
to
think
the point to where it's
they
like,
got to a point where they're like, oh,
They-
okay, this is going to affect us too.
There's
Yeah.
some good dudes.
100%.
Some really, really
Yeah.
good dudes who stepped up and helped us out, and that's saying a lot because like I said, they don't have to. So
right.
They stand to lose it all too, though.
They know where their leverage is for sure. They're acutely aware of where their leverage is. So
Yeah,
that
if there
starts to
ain't,
get trained.
if there isn't hunters, then where's a lot of their income going to come from? You know?
Well, and if there's no game
Yeah.
to hunt, because predators have dominated the landscape, and there's
Exactly.
no game for the tribes to hunt, well,
Yeah.
that's not going to be good either.
No.
I got cougars skulking around my freaking house right now.
yeah.
Could probably go out there and shoot one right now.
Anything we missed that you want to hit on before we shut her down?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a pleasure. Great
Yeah,
time.
it was a good time,
It was.
and I think we should call out our sponsors because they are very awesome.
Yep.
Olin is a new one. We'd like to thank Loopold, and also who else we got?
Montana Knife Company,
Montana-
Benchmark.
Benchmark Barrels. We had Ron on the other night.
It's really good.
And
Great
yeah,
podcast.
we'd love to have the Caribou Gear guy on the podcast one of these
We'll
nights,
get them on eventually.
one of these times.
Yeah.
Caribou Gear and also Aero Precision.
Yeah, Air Precision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Couple months, we're gonna have some really cool stuff to show you guys.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good old time. But
Yeah.
until next time, stay humble and hunt hard, guys.